Hello. Regarding UK house prices, the news for August is that prices slowly continue to rise, despite the uncertainty due to possible stamp duty and other changes in the budget. In the next few months, there could be short-term effects as landlords panic about these possible changes. We'll discuss this later. Now, you will see different figures in various news reports. This is because there are several bodies that report on housing figures, and they all do it in a slightly different way. But taking them together, on average, in the 12 months to August, house prices in the UK have risen by around 3%. The most reliable data is from government bodies such as the UK Land Registry, HMRC, and the Office of National Statistics, as this is based on factual transactions. However, their data is a bit out of date as their report comes 2 months after the others, and the underlying transactions may have happened much earlier. Now, according to the Land Registry, the annual price rise to the end of June was 3.7%, making the UK property on average £269,000. The mortgage providers, Halifax and Nationwide, have their own house price indexes based on mortgage transactions, and they show annual increases until the end of August of 2.2% for Halifax and 2.1% for Nationwide. Their averages for UK property prices are higher at 299,000 for Halifax and 273,000 for Nationwide, but these exclude cash transactions. Now, the property portals such as Rightmove or Zoopla have more recent data and are probably more representative of what is happening right now. But this is based on asking prices on properties that are on sale in that month on those portals. The actual final sell prices may be less, but the trends are useful. Now, both of these portals indicate recent increases in properties available for sale. And in terms of the annual increases, in August, Zoopla shows it was 1.3% and only 0.3% on Rightmove. You can see now why you may see different headlines about what is happening in the UK property market. It will depend on which figures are being quoted. And also note that you have to take into account annual inflation. According to the government figures, the CPI, Consumer Price Index, annual inflation was 4.2% for the 12 months to August. So the property price increase of 3.7% was actually less than inflation. And this enables some reports to say that UK house prices have actually fallen in real terms. Now, when it comes to future property prices and forecasts, the media is even more confusing. You'll see videos predicting a crash and others predicting a boom. This is because they put an optimistic or a pessimistic spin on different data. For example, regional data shows slight falls in pricing in London and the South, whereas prices in the North are rising and expected to grow at a much faster rate. So someone focusing on London will have a different view on property to someone active in the North. As an investor, you have to look at the average long-term trends and not get too worried about short-term fluctuations. This is because almost all investors these days are buying property as a long-term investment. They're not looking to flip it for a profit, like some people used to do when there was no stamp duty and prices were rising much faster. Now, the historical trend is that on average, house prices have doubled in value every 12 years or so, over the long term on average. And even when there's been a downturn or recession, it's always been corrected by a boom. So if you're keeping your property for the long term, you're less likely to be affected by these fluctuations. The key factor that will determine future prices will be the same, the balance between supply and demand. Now, demand is increasing due to a gradual increase in the population and households getting smaller with more single people households, and elderly living longer and remaining in relatively larger houses, and divorces splitting one home into two. And demand is also affected by affordability and availability of mortgages. On the supply side, the supply has grown at a lower level than demand, and this is the reason why house prices in the UK in the past have increased at higher rates than inflation. I don't think the government plan to build more houses is significantly going to increase supply. Please comment below and let us know what you think about UK house prices right now and what is likely to happen in the future. Do you think that low-cost houses in the north may grow better than more expensive houses in the south? Tell me what you think. If you find this video useful, please tap the like button and subscribe to our channel. I think in the short term, there may be little growth, particularly in the south, as some landlords panic and sell due to possible changes in the autumn budget. But I believe that the balance between demand and supply is not going to change in any radical way, and prices will continue to rise gradually over the long term. Please watch the message from our sponsor at the end. Thanks for watching.
If you want to invest in property and get 7% net rent, long-term capital growth, no costs or liabilities ever, do nothing yourself and be living anywhere in the world, then consider Find UK Property. They provide 100% passive investment solutions for long-term income from freehold properties starting at under 80k. You get a property that is affordable, fully renovated, already rented out, contractually guaranteed and productive from day one. You become the owner and rent it back to Find UK Property so that they become your tenants and look after all aspects of the property in a fully compliant way. You never need to deal with tenants, estate agents, or do any property maintenance or repairs, or pay for any costs. Find UK Property look after over 2,500 houses, all of which are sublet to their own tenants, and on average they get more rent from their tenants than they have to pay the property owners, so that way they can cover all the property costs. Their solutions are great for those wanting to retire on pension type income or gradually build large property portfolios passively in a tax efficient manner. Please visit the website at findukproperty.com and speak to a consultant today.